Firstly, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And please turn off your mics if they're not already. And then when we have a vote, we'll ask you to turn your mics on. The voting will be done in reverse, in that if we hear no objections, we'll assume passage. And of course, we'll ask you to unmute your mics at that time. If we hear nothing, we'll assume agreement. If not, then we'll ask for a verbal call. Obviously, only members can attend. Basically, one corporation has only one vote. Eddie, that's about it. Thank you, Chris.
All right. At this time, we need to appoint a recording secretary. Can I have a motion to appoint Terry Wensley? Gerald Sanderson. And seconded by Darren Kress. Any objections?
Okay, so everyone unmute themselves, or if you have no objections, we'll just wait for a moment and proceed.
No objections, so motion's carried. We'll do a proof of notice. All members were mailed the meeting notice on Thursday, January 11th, 2024. This exceeds the 15-day notice period, so that we are able to have this meeting. We have 28 members in attendance. We need 15 to have established quorum. I'm assuming everyone has a chance to review the agenda. If there are no additions, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Daryl Rutherford and seconded by Sandra Moen. Any objections? Motion carried. I'm assuming everybody has had a chance to review the 2023 AGM minutes. We can put them on the screen.
When folks, I'll bring the meeting minutes up.
In front of you are the annual general meeting minutes from last year. If there are no errors or omissions, can I have a motion to approve the 2023 AGM minutes as presented? Deb Florick moves. Seconded by Lyle Franson. Any objections? Motion's carried. Okay, did you want to do this one, Terry?
Thank you. We have a few guests with us today and just want to thank them for joining us. We have Charles Wilson from BMO. We also have John Card from BMO. We have Sheila Filion from Virtus Group, who is our accountant and an auditor, and Chris Massage, who is from McKercher LLP, who is our solicitor. Thank you all very much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. This time I'll do a presentation of the chairperson's report. "2023 was a year for the record books. Over the past year, your board and staff have worked hard to advance the priorities of SAS Livestock Finance Co-operative Limited. There was no shortage of challenges throughout the 2023, but we saw a number of notable successes. We are very proud of our roots, and it is important that we look to our past as we take on challenges facing our industry today in the years to come. This was certainly true in 2023. By working together, we were able to provide the support needed by our producers affected by the drought and increased feed costs. Your board and staff have worked hard together, and I'm very grateful for their hard work and commitment they demonstrate. While we still have our challenges, I am confident in the future of the organization. As we move into 2024, there are bright spots for the industry. Prices have improved and we have a strong market. The challenge now is having enough beef to meet the demand. We will keep working on policy, programs, and all all the things we see that can improve the competitiveness for our producer members. To our members, for your continued support and confidence, thank you. It is a privilege to work on your behalf for our cooperative. Thank you, Chris Webb.
All right, I'll do my report now, and echoing a lot of what Chris says. 2023 was certainly a year of improvement, but yet challenging. Returns on livestock were at record levels, but while drought somewhat abated in 2022, in 2023 it returned to many areas that were still suffering from low moisture levels. Coupled with higher feed costs, there continued to be some significant challenges. We are pleased to report a strong and profitable year, which included an additional rainy day fund set aside. The following are just a few brief highlights of 2023. We processed 3,840 transactions, 882 new schedules, over $44.5 million of new disbursements were processed, which is an increase of $14.4 million from last year. Average schedule increased a little over $50,000. Our portfolio high as of the end of August was $49 million, although significantly higher throughout the year. We had increased member limits, the sheep pilot is proceeding, and the feeder re-advance program was implemented and available to qualifying members. As well, the sheep pilot program's implementation continues. Joint membership option for members is available and is proving very beneficial and certainly helps streamline the process as well. Young Producers Program is also available to youth enrolled in the Livestock 4-H program and beyond. Increased member limits enabled members to grow their herds and further take advantage of the current market conditions. We continue to focus on improving our operations and our service and have implemented a service standard. This includes a process to track every invoice and every payment received. Our goal is to have completed scheduled transactions within 3 business days. Over 90% of these transactions were processed within this timeline. On payments, where we receive a payment directly from the auction, the standard is usually 1 business day. Standard transactions are emailed out within days of their conclusion in normal operating conditions, and those who prefer to receive it mailly, we mail them out quarterly, and this helps to reduce cost. While there was a strong market, there were some continuing challenges, and we are also dealing with some challenge account situations. We have worked tirelessly and with our members wherever possible to overcome these matters. When these situations occur, the inventory count and branded animals are often an issue. Thorough and accurate inventory with branded animals was a requirement under the old previous program and continues to be an imperative. You may notice our continued stressing of good quality brands and accurate information, as this protects everybody in the co-op. We are also focused on tomorrow, and we have lots of programs and improvements underway. The largest one is the banking and loan system identification, which is underway and which should be implemented hopefully in the 2025 timeline. Creditor insurance available for all qualifying members with no health questionnaire except for critical illness, and maybe finance should be available sometime in 2024. I'd really like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some key individuals and partners. Firstly, you are members who are for your support and patience and gratitude. Your SKLF staff for their many late nights, extra efforts, demanding work, and dedication. Our livestock supervisors for their dedication and ensuring compliance with our program is key. Veritas Group LLP, our auditors, particularly Sheila Filion, Neil Fence and their teams, and frankly our financing partner, the Bank of Montreal, Charles Wilson and his team, for their consistent and constant strong support. I'd also like to take this time to express my deep appreciation for our chairperson, Chris Webb, and all the board of directors for their dedication and support. Improving our efficiency and member services are key elements that we continue to focus on, and we continue to make significant strides. Stay tuned for much more. To you, our members, thank you for your support and guidance. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. With that concluded, we can move on to the 2023 financial statements. Terry's going to run us through that.
I'll just attempt to share them in another moment. All right. On our balance sheet, and these are audited financials as well, which are obviously key for us and our accountant and for our bank, our financier. At the end of 2023, we had $11,283 of cash. Restricted cash, the assurance funds, was $6,915,690. Accounts receivable, $9,071. Interest receivable, this is the amount of interest that's owed to us as of the end of August, $2,173.99. Prepaid expenses of $11,954. Member schedules, $48,835,025. Property and equipment, $16,734. For total assets of $57,972,856. On the liabilities, accounts payable and accrued liabilities, $173,511. Government remittances, this is like EI, remittances for payroll, $5,837. Income tax payable, $3,372. Assurance funds, $6,915,690. And you'll see that there's no deferred revenue for this year, for 2023. There was a change in the accounting standard, so that basically means that it was not deferred. It all went into income during the 2023 fiscal year. Loans payable, $50,669,987. Members' equity grew to $204,459 for total liabilities of $57,972,856. Moving on to the income statement. Interest revenue, this is the interest that basically we charge out and collect from the members. $3,273,060. Inventory fees, this is for our annual inventory, $102,650. Investment income, this is the monies that we earn from the assurance funds that we are held on deposit, $304,387. Membership fees, $177,722. Other revenue, $36,154. Purchasing fees, $236,878. So total gross revenue of $4,130,851. Expenses, administration, $72,140. Advertising, $41,104. Amortization expense, $2,554. Bad debts, $246,217. Bank charges, $11,931. Board of Directors, $28,264. Consulting fees, $37,490. Interest expense, this is how much we get charged to lend on the schedules, $2,598,477. Office and General, $5,876. Professional, $58,445. Regional expenses, $223,063. Salaries, this is the staff cost, $624,539. Security registration, $7,540 for total expenses of $4,010,640. Net income of $120,211. Income tax, $17,698. Net income for last year, after all the expenses, $102,513. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. regarding the financial statements?
Okay, if nobody has any questions, we'll get a motion to approve the financial statements as of August 31st, 2023, as presented. Darren Kress moves that, seconded by Shane Christo. Any objections? Motion carried. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about the general bylaw amendment.
All right, it may take me a minute to bring this one up. I'm not sure if anybody's had a chance to review it. The background is we do a regular review on the general bylaw, and based on the advice from our council that and best business practices, he's suggesting the following changes to the general bylaw, which is more just on the governance side. And it has been recommended by the Governance and HR Committee as well as the board. So one moment, please. The new proposed general bylaw is up. I suspect everyone's had a chance to go over it. If they have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, if we have no questions, make a motion to approve the general bylaw amendment as presented. Moved by Gerald Sanderson and seconded by Shenley Boris. Any objections? Motion's carried. All right. Appointment of the auditor. We'd like to thank the Virtus Group for all their assistance and support over the last year. For 2024, the board recommends the reappointment of the Virtus Group as our auditor. Can I have a motion to appoint the Virtus Group for 2024? Daryl Rutherford, move that we appoint them. And seconded by Shane Christo. Any objections? Motion's carried. Okay, now we move on to the other business portion of the meeting, and we will address previously submitted questions. There's only one, and Terry, would you like to address it?
Yes, there was one question submitted, and it was, why don't we release the cows after each annual payment? And this was not an oversight by the co-op. The simple reason is after, frankly, the discussions with the former LLG program, and we adopted their rules and processes. And that was provided to the funders, and it's all part of our daily operations. And the simple fact is, although there were some associations who did release cows on each annual payment, that was not in the program regulations. It was not supported by the LLG, although it certainly did happen. And as a result, we simply have continued on with that process. And quite frankly, normally it is actually helps and makes sure that the betterment of the co-op in the long term, to have that additional security. So. And also, if you look at our competitors, they don't release the animals during the term either.
Okay. Hopefully that answered the question for the member. If there are any further questions, please contact the regional coordinator. They will assist you or forward on your questions to head office, and it will be addressed. You'll definitely get an answer. Okay. We're going to move on to the Board of Director nominations. Is this you, Terry?
Yes. We have 4 persons nominated and went through the nomination process. Randy DeBrune has decided to withdraw her nomination paper at this time, and will hopefully reconsider in the near future. As nominations have ceased,
They are all approved by acclamation. So as we need to make a motion to accept the new directors, or the old ones. So Darren Kress moved it, and I seconded it. Motion carried. So your board of directors for 2024 would be Shenley Boris, Shane Christo, Deb Florick, Lyle Franson, Darren Kress, Sandra Moen, Daryl Rutherford, Gerald Sanderson, and myself, Chris Webb. At this time, I guess, the 5th annual general meeting is going to be concluded. I move to adjourn.
Just like to thank everyone for participating today. It was our first try for having a Zoom one. By the looks of the participants, it turned out to be pretty good. Thank you very much for joining, and any suggestions are most welcome. You can pass them on to your regional coordinator or myself. And thank you all very much, folks, for participating today. We very much appreciate it. And it was a good year last year, and
we're looking forward to another great one this year. Thank you from myself and the board as well.